Apollo Extravehicular Mobility Unit. The system is one of several spacesuit designs being developed for the needs of...
Baby, oh, honey, truth or bust. Baby, come on with me, truth or bust. Baby,
Flight path, so-called 700 feet. Don't have any flight. The pilot puts up after directly ocean. That's really unusual. Those connect up and stay back down. Why would they do this? The airline company to make the shortest route.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. People are in love with that ball.
My new national strategy space recognized.
And I've got a secret. I realize it's a radical thing to say to somebody.
Kind of is.
It's possible that the world is flat. I realize it's a radical thing to say to somebody.
Kind of is.
But I think it's true. Actually possible that the world is flat. They're flat. What is it? They yell at each other all the time.
No.
And if I were in conversation with that person, I hope I would say, world is flat. They're flat. What's to the top part? But underneath, what can change me for the better? I should always look to be changed for the better.
The need for it to kill it. Full flatter.
World is flat.
Flatter.
World is flat.
So flat.
World is flat. Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court. And what then is the nature of government? When it has no fear of accountability. World is flat.
Flatter. So flat. Full flatter.
World is flat. Yeah.
Interesting. So empirically, I agree
World is flat.
with that.
Yeah, that's your experience.
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And
Full flatter. Full flatter.
Now, in this, do you know about the mirror exercise?
I read about it, so I
Okay,
can...
so I'll explain to those who don't know.
I want to use a familiar illustration to show in what way we ignore. Identify with the cup. When you look at the two faces, you identify with the profile. So in the same way, when we experience the world around us, we identify with the subject, the knower. We don't identify with what we see. But as a matter of fact, if there is nothing seen, there is no experience of a seer. If there is no seer, there is no experience of anything seen. They both go together in the same way as the black and the white. And this idea that the yes and the no, the black and the white, the inside of a class, say we draw a square as representing fundamentally the idea of class. I can't have a square which doesn't have both inside and outside. They go together. And in Buddhism, this going together is called shunya. Although this is often translated void, it means that the inside of the square cannot exist, is void without the outside, the subject without the object, the black without the white. And this, of course, is represented in this fundamental Chinese figure of the yang, or the positive principle, and the yin, or the negative principle, like two fishes, constantly circulating, going round and round and round and round in the alternations of life. Now, the question is, are these two fishes involved in a fight? Is the white one eating up the black one, and the black one trying to eat up the white one? If that is the situation, then, of course, life is fundamentally nothing but a grim contest. If this one up here is the good fellow, and this one is the bad fellow, if this is order and this is chaos, then a fight goes on between them. And that's largely the way in which our technology has interpreted man's situation as against nature. This is man, the white, the good fellow. This is nature, the dark, the bad fellow. And the white one has got to eat him up. But what happens if the white fish succeeds in eating up the dark fish? The white fish disappears as well as the dark one, because the white one is only there in relation to the dark. So then, if these two fishes, as it were, wake up, if this one wakes up and this one wakes up, which is called awakening in Buddhism, they realize they're one. In other words, they go together. They're inseparable from each other. And this realization is that experience, which is called in Zen Satori, or in Buddhism, Bodhi, awakening. This sudden dawning on our consciousness that life is not really a contest to make yes triumph over no, to make the positive triumph over the negative. The two sides go together. And then one sees, in this strange way, that underlying all that is negative in the world, all that is in a way painful and evil, there is a kind of necessity to it. It goes with the good. It is necessary for the good. Disorder is necessary for the manifestation of order, just as you must have, say, a black background to show up a light figure. And then when one sees that, a profound transformation takes place in one's attitude to the world. That is to say, instead of looking upon life as a contest, it becomes a dance, it becomes a game. One doesn't withdraw from it, one doesn't stop living, but one goes into the game so that these revolving fishes are no longer trying to eat each other, but they're just going around dancing, having the biggest fun in the world. So then, must we have fixed in our minds the idea that all the forms and patterns of nature are simply methods of attack or defense, that they're devices for camouflage, that they're simply lures for sexual attraction or other utilitarian purposes? Or can we see in them a dance, a joyous cosmology? People who believe that the earth is flat cannot possibly be talked into seeing that it's round because they know it's flat. Because can't you see? So what you do is this, you say, let's go and look over the edge. Wouldn't that be fun? But you see, to be sure that we do get to the edge, we must be very careful not to walk in circles. So you perform a discipline. You go steadily and rigorously westwards along latitude 40 or something. And then when you get back to the place where you started, he is convinced that the world is at least cylindrical. Because what is altered is not the way your senses perceive. What is altered is what you think about it. Your definitions of what you see. Your evaluation of it. So when you don't cling to it, when you have no longer a hostile attitude to the world because you know the world is you, it is. I mean, let's take it from the point of view of biology. If I describe the behavior of a living organism, I cannot possibly describe that behavior without simultaneously describing the behavior of the environment. So that I discover that I don't describe organisms in environments, I describe a unified field of behavior called an organism environment. It's an awkward word, but there it is. The environment doesn't push the organism around. The organism doesn't push the environment around. They are two aspects or poles of the same process. And so you have to understand that this attitude towards nature, seeing the fundamental unity of the self which manifests it all, is not an attitude, as missionaries are apt to suppose, which denies the value of differentiation. You must understand the principle of what are called identical differences. Take a coin. The head side is a different side from the tail side, and yet the two are inseparable. Take the operation of buying and selling. Selling is a different operation from buying, but you can't buy unless somebody sells at the same time, and vice versa. This is what is meant by the underlying unity of opposites, what is called in Hinduism Advaita, or non-duality. Or when the Chinese use the word Tao to designate the way of operation of the positive and negative principles, the yang and the yin. It is not a unity that annihilates differences, but a unity which is manifested by the very differentiations that we perceive. Just as it's all polar. It's like the two poles of a magnet. Different, but yet one magnet.
Great points.
No.
No, Eddie.
Big
Eddie,
UFC
Eddie,
this
you
weekend,
are
brother.
the ambassador of the Flat Earth Society.
We're on the record for the videotape deposition of Alex Jones.
Create the planet, and you will be there with GPS.
No. I'm not going to be there. Fuck no. We're going to get someone to represent me there. Okay?
All right,
Okay, drone.
let's announce
No,
it.
we'll get
We're launching.
I'm not doing it.
No. We're launching the Discovery of Flat Earth Project.
So long ago, like 6 years ago,
But I mean, there's anomalies all over the place, is what I'm saying. You've seen.
there have been a lot of people asking a lot of questions that isn't illegal yet in this country.
Correct.
I'm going to make
believe
points
it.
because, Eddie, you've taught me a lot, and you're a really smart guy, an entrepreneur, and a badass. So I think it's healthy to be where you're at, questioning everything versus buying everything. All I'm telling you is the stuff we have now 100 years ago would be considered magic. And we humans can go way beyond
I
that.
agree with that. Fucking iPhones, are you
Dude,
kidding
I
me?
know people that I was there when they
iPhones
were
are the
dying at
best.
the hospital, and
That
I'm
has
like,
nothing to do
they were
with
like top
space,
NASA
though.
scientists on the main line in the videos running NASA, and I'm like, were we there? Yes, I ran the RCA cameras. We
Definition of staged. I don't care what staged means. I'm asking, did you?
I don't have it in front of me, but I did say that I saw a lot of anomalies that how do we know more weren't arriving later and that there's other porta potties being delivered? I'm not saying that's what happened. You just show me one still off something and tell me tell me to answer questions.
They dolled him up, but we wouldn't have done that. I freaking know what happened.
That makes
Noon, is like 10 chest X-rays, right?
Yeah,
You know what airline
flying is
pilots are all
terrible
fried.
for you.
Notice all the
I thought it
international-
was only one.
Notice how it's more. Notice how the international flights are all now at night.
Why is that?
Because there's freaking no radio, dude.
Because you go to sleep, it's a red eye.
No.
Solar radiation.
Yes.
Yeah, and now that we have a U.S. Navy missile instructor and many other experts confirming that the Earth is a flat and motionless plane,
You're being sarcastic. That's a prank call. That's an ad hominem thing where there's seminar calls on that where you call in and then you say, oh, you're so accurate, and then they add something like the Earth's flat. It's a standard tactic. It's like when when Al Gore's before Congress and they say, the truth is the Earth's been cooling for a few years, and he goes, yes, and you think no one went to the moon. And I'll be on national shows. They'll go, no one went to the moon, right, Alex? And I'm like, no, we went to the moon. They just put out some bad PR photos because the radiation damaged the film. They doctored them. And they didn't admit it to people. Let's go to... I don't believe the Earth is flat, but if the mainstream media started saying it was round, I might question them. I mean, that's how deceptive these people are, that you really can't believe anything they say. They taint, they twist, they spin.
And come out the other side where people walk upside down. Oh, but that's silly. Nobody... Oh! What if I should fall right through the center of the Earth?
And come out the other side where people walk upside down. Oh, but that's silly.